Live from virtual Wisconsin, welcome race fans one and all back to Green Flag TV, where tonight we get set to kick off a brand new series. It is the Pro Kart Concepts Road Challenge Series. Hello, one and all, and welcome to the show. My name is Nolan Rempel, and I'll be bringing you all of the coverage here tonight from start to finish. It is the first race of 10 here tonight from this amazing 6.41 kilometer circuit over here in beautiful Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, at what is arguably one of the best road courses, if not in the world, then at the very least here in North America. 14 turns make up this circuit, and it's got everything you could hope for. Log straights, hard braking zones, and that is everything that you could be looking for as we get set to go racing here tonight. Let's take a rundown first, though, of what we're getting ourselves into for this 10-week campaign. We will kick things off with, of course, talking about the cars over the course of the night, and there is a multi-class aspect to this race, and in fact, for the entirety of the season, you'll have the Ligier JSP 320 running in the LMP3 category, and then, of course, the entirety of the GT4 roster that iRacing has to offer, from the Aston Martin Vantage GT4 to the BMW M4, the McLaren 570S, the Mercedes AMG, and of course the Porsche 718 Cayman GT4 Club Sport. So all of these cars are going to be lined up and ready to go racing. We've got just over 30 cars getting set to take to the starting grid here in this season opener at Wisconsin. The schedule for the series looks a little something like this. You kick it off at Road America, you swing down to America's racing capital, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, then of course to the Detroit Belle Isle Street Circuit in the Motor City, to America's Motorsports Playground at the Virginia International Raceway, down to the historic Mid-Ohio Sports Car course. Our second bout of street course racing comes in the form of Long Beach to kick off the second half of the season. We run down to Florida for the first of two visits at the Pittsburgh International Raceway. Road Atlanta and Brownston, Georgia will see round number 8. We jump across the border to Canada to the Canadian Tire Motorsports Park for round number 9. And we close things out right at the end here of November, where we will be seeing the Daytona International Speedway, the World Center of Racing playing host to the season finale. So all of that and more coming on up here on Green Flag TV. Qualifying is just getting itself fully wrapped on up, and then we'll be able to get things fully underway. We will have about a 5-minute or less warm-up session before we go racing here in this one, and there's a lot to play for all of these drivers on the line. You're going to be having yourselves some tight racing all throughout this 1-hour race, and of course it is a 1-hour guaranteed time race, so it'll be however many laps we can get finished in that 1 hour when we get set to go racing in about 3 to 4 minutes or so. But for now, we're going to take ourselves a quick jump back, and we'll be back with your starting grid. You're watching the Pro Kart Concepts Road Challenge Series on Green Flag TV. Welcome back to Road America and to Green Flag TV, where we're about to get underway for the Pro Kart Concepts Road Challenge Series. And, of course, we're going to thank the folks that help to keep the lights on here for this absolutely incredible series. And, of course, it is brought to you fully by Pro Kart Concepts. Are you a sim racing enthusiast looking to challenge your driving skills at another level? Are you ready to take the next step into real-life motorsports? Look no further than Pro Kart Concepts, the premier destination for karting in the Northeast. The racing with them isn't like your neighborhood's indoor track. The Wilson Circuit, located in Pittsburgh International Race Complex near Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, is a dedicated outdoor kart race that is nearly 1 mile in length for its circuit. Worried about the learning curve? Don't be. Their friendly and knowledgeable instructors will guide you every step of the way. They will teach you advanced karting techniques, share insights, and help you to fine-tune your skills to conquer the track and, of course, your competition. Now, listen up here, because this is the best part. Pro Kart Concepts offers exclusive discounts for sim racers like you. Mention this ad when booking and receive 15% off your introduction to kart racing. They know the dedication and the passion you bring to your virtual races, and they want you to be able to build on that with an unforgettable transition to real-world racing. You can visit ProKartConcepts.com for more information. Once again, that is ProKartConcepts.com. Pro Kart Concepts helping to keep this series going here as it stands here on Great Flag TV, and of course presented by Mad Sim Racing, a team oh so prominent in the endurance racing community. They're going to be racing at the virtual Petit Le Mans coming on up here in just the next month or two. So it's going to be a fun ride to see what they'll be able to put together with their endurance team's efforts. For now, though, they'll be looking to go head-to-head with one another as we'll get set to go racing for 1 hour with these LMP3 and GT4 machines around the virtual Road America circuit here in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. It is one of the longest tracks that you have in the entire US of A. It's not a series, or it's not a track that's very forgiving when it comes down to its course length. And we talked about it earlier, 6.514 kilometers, just over 4 miles. And for the oval racing fans, take 2 laps around the Michigan International Speedway, and that'll essentially get you a lap around Road America. It is a behemoth of a venue, and boy, is it ever a fun trip to be had for these guys over here. It remains one of my favorite circuits, both to drive and to commentate. I have yet to see a dull race here at this absolutely fantastic venue. Again, both in the virtual world and the real world. They have all sorts of races here. They have had IndyCar here. They still have IMSA coming here on the regular. They have NASCAR that makes regular appearances out here. Originally just in their Xfinity Series, but more recently their Cup Series has been making efforts to make more runs at Road America, and I'm so happy that they have, along with a huge host of club races right down to Spec Miata races where you can be seeing upwards of 70 cars on the track at any given point for Spec Miatas. It is a sight to behold, and we'll get set to behold another sight right here this time around as the checker flag flies on this warm-up session. Let's take a rundown of what your starting grid is going to be looking like as we get set to go racing for your season opener in the Pro Kart Concepts Road Challenge Series. Starting up on pole position, it is going to be Scott Kimbrough for LMP3's for your LMP3 field on pole. Mike Braun for Empire Racing will be down in the number 2 spot. Justin Barrera will be in 3rd for Metamorphosis, with Michaels Krabby going to be in 4th. Michael Day is in 5th with Eric Vukic in 6th. Billy Bowerman is in 7th with John Boyd in 8th. Bradley Beeman and Sonny Brown round out the top 10 in LMP3. Continuing on down through the order, row 6 holds Daniel Hall and Kevin Madia. You will, of course, then have the likes in 13th place of Taylor Parsons with Otto Rosa. Carson Path in 15th, Tyler Beeman in 16th, Joe Ogle and Jacob Ackerman bring up an 18-car LMP3 field. Interestingly enough, the bigger of 2 fields here in this one. Usually it's the GT4s that are the bigger and the prototypes are smaller. Not here this time around, as, Kyle Nadu going to be rounded out a 19-car field out of Canada. Justin Hall is on pole position for GT4s with Bradley Olvis down in 2nd. Matt Green is in 3rd with Joe Evers in 4th. 5th place is Chris Daniel. Ed Jurgen is in 6th. Chris Wold, Eric Lightsky, Chris Wells, Matt Ackerman, Jerry Isaacs, and Shane Brown wrap out your 31-car field. And just in time, too, the pace truck will get set to roll just shy of start-finish, and we will kick this race off. It is going to be an intense opening few laps, and we are looking forward to what everybody in this field has to play for. Out of the final corner, the pace truck is already very much off as we will turn these drivers loose. Green flag is up in the air. We are racing in the Pro Kart Concepts Road Challenge Series. All 19 LMP3 cars getting through turn number 1 without any fuss. Looking back to the GT4s, Justin Hall leads them to the green flag. We cross over the start-finish stretch. This field hightails it down and in towards turn number 1. It's a fierce fight for all these drivers involved, but so far they're navigating through these opening couple of corners nicely, looking for their pack. Will we see anybody going off into GT4 field? We do not. We'll turn these back up front, where Justin Dive Bomber Barrington has just found the inside of Miles Crabb. This is coming on down in towards that turn 6. And we now work our way up and over the rise as we get set to properly kick off racing. Further down the field, we look back to the battle for P2, battle for the lead, in fact, for GT4. Hall trying to keep opposite green at bay. They're looking to go 3 wide, down and towards the bridge turn. It's not going to happen, though, and it looks like green going to be cut down and off. While your field of GT4 machinery still running nose to tail up over the rise. Justin Hall trying to keep Bradley Olvis at bay. While Miles Crabb up in front and fourth at LMP3, trying to keep Michael Day behind him. We work our way around through the Moraine Sweep and through Kettle Bottoms down in towards Canada Corner. Out through turn number 12, working back towards the front straightaway. Look out for Vukic trying to have a move up the inside of Michael Day for a top 5 position as we work our way out of the final corner through turn 14. Back up and over the rise. Kimbrough leads the first lap in LMP3. We've got a potential fight brewing here for the number 3 position. Krabby, though, not looking to make that move here. Barrera tucks it in line. Further behind, though, can't say the same about Taylor Parsons. He'll send one down the inside of Madia down into the opening corner, and he'll sweep through to take 12th. Further down the field, Hall and Alvis still running nose to tail. The GT4 field will exit turn 14 and back up across the pit straight, up and over the rise. Hall leads the opening lap. Battle for 14th on the screen at LMP3. Ducking to the inside, it's Rosa, a huge lockup for Ogle. He's going to swing way out wide, and Joe Ogle falls again to Otto Rosa. And that will allow for Tyler Beeman to drive away from a lot of them. Overall, though, a very clean opening couple of laps over here in the Pro Kart Concepts Road Challenge Series. Kimbrough continuing to lead the way. We jump back to the likes of Matt Green, Bradley Alvis, and Justin Hall. The closest trio as it stands in GT4. Getting a draft, though, so difficult. These cars very much underpowered, and it means getting yourself a run is very much based on momentum, not on the draft. And currently, Justin Hall has all of that momentum working for him up in front. A couple of cars running wide on the exit of turn 6. And, in fact, trouble for Shane Brown, who's gone off. And, in fact, Bowerman falls down to Boyd as well. A couple of drivers having some early struggles here in this one. Michael Day way off the track of the final corner. He's going to fall first from 5th, then to 6th, 7th, now to 8th. And he's not the only one, as Nadeau's gone around and he's found the barriers. So Kyle Nadeau is into the tire wall in the final corner. He'll cross back onto the racetrack now, but it's a fierce battle now that these guys have to work with themselves here in LMP3. First what happened to Shane Brown, coming down to the turn number 6. Just locks up too deep in the Simagic Mercedes-AMG GT4, drives it in way deep, and then that will allow for us to look at what happened to Kyle Nadeau. Again, clips the grass, and oh, there's a bit of trouble up in front of him, and that is what sent the 97 car to the outside wall. So here's what happened to Joe Ogle, and this might tell the story. Again, sends it in, they lock up and spins it around, and that is what sent Nadeau wide and careening into the tire barriers. How about a look for Jerry Isaacs to get down the inside of Chris, Mr. Clean Wells, trying to make that lunge for ninth. Pro Kart Concepts Porsche came and going to get down the inside of the Merc of the number 13 car. Chris Daniels backwards through turn 4, way off the circuit, and Matt Green sideways as well. So we've had a potential car-to-car collision here. They'll rejoin the circuit. No further incident. This is what happened to Chris Daniel and Matt Green. Whoa, Green lost it in front, and Daniel lost it as well. So they, in fact, that was just two separate incidents, and it looked like Daniel going off in sympathy. Still got this battle for ninth we're watching for here in the number 9 LMP3. Up and over the rise, and now we're seeing Bradley Beeman going a little bit defensive there, trying to keep Daniel Hall at bay. You get spots all the way up and down throughout the entirety of this grid. You saw Tyler Parsons look for a move. Taylor Parsons, though, not able to make that lunge. Into the opening corner, and he's going to clip the grass on the exit of turn 1. Kicks the back end of the Ligier out, and just able to keep that car in line. John Boyd also under some fire at the moment as we work our way, coming around in towards turn number 6. Looking for the inside as Billy Bowerman can't make the lunge, though. He'll remain stuck in that 7th position. Tell you what, got a lot of good battling as it stands, though, and a lot of these drivers have not been able to break away from each other. It's going to make it a harsh fight if anybody wants to try to break up and clear. Caleb Parsons closing in on Daniel Hall. Thought about a move, opted against it, and now John Boyd again under fire by Bowerman into the carousel this time by. Checks up a Constantina effect through the carousel. Bowerman still looking to pull clear up the road. He's got a bit of a train of 7 here now that are running line astern. Kimbrough's built up a 1.5 second lead in LMP3. Hall a 9/10 of a second lead in GT4. Whoa, and Bowerman hard into the ball as he's going to rebound up, collects a bunch of cars. We've got a roadblock in LMP3 out of Canada corner, and that is disaster now for Parsons and more. The 92 car of Bradley Beeman is junked as well, as just getting a bit too crossed up on the exit of turn 12, and that's going to send everybody scrambling. Well, that is heavily broken up now. Your LMP3 field will get a look back on what just happened. It started when Billy Bowerman went off course at turn 12. Watch it, he's going to clip the grass, and that hooks him right head on into the barriers, and that is a tremendous impact. Kicked up and into the air, and it was calamity at that point. That's broken up a lot of your LMP3 field. Now we've got this fight for a second between Braun and Barrera. But is Barrera going to lock up? That will effectively nullify that battle. Karsten Path is let through by Hall. This allows us to check in, though, on the GT4 field now with Chris Wells trying to get up and around Jerry Isaacs. Matt Ackerman also in the fray. And all of that drama still within the first 10 minutes or so of this race. So it has not gotten off, I think, to the way that these guys were hoping it would, but it's better than nothing. Karsten Path off the racetrack further down the field will jump around, though. We'll look further up. This is the fight for 4th in GT4. Chris Wohl trying to keep Ed Jurgen at bay as they're going to start closing in. This is the run down in towards turn number 1, and McLaren going to look to the inside and dives it for the inside. Jurgen makes an easy pass on Wold there that time by the Pro Kart Concepts Mercedes. Not going to fight that one out all that hard. Thought he might have fought a bit more harder than that, but he will opt just to kind of take it in stride. Sonny Brown has lost a few positions this time around, and we'll get a look at what happened all over there in just a moment, as this is into the final corner again, just tracks wide. Has he found the barriers? Oh, just barely nicking the tire barrier in the final corner. Side by side, meanwhile, down into turn number 6, and Ackerman gets around Wells. So the Mercedes dropping 2 now, while Justin Barrera will lose out to Krabby that time by. Miles Krabby will maintain his run in third. Jurgen now has been spun, and the McLaren that we just saw making moves, he's now tagged the barriers. I believe that to be just shy of the final corner. You see your LMP3 field starting to work through. Oh, this is actually well before the final corner. Sorry, this is just before Hurry Downs, and oh, that's a heavy shot into the K-rail. You don't quite know where to look at the moment. Here's a lunge as Brown loses out to Madia. That was coming on down in towards turn number 9. Sorry, turn 8. Heck of a move there for Kevin Madia to get up and around Sonny Brown. Made really quick work of that number 115. And how about this Hornets nest of cars? You got a side-by-side battle between Wells and Daniel with a lot of LMP3 traffic right behind. Where do you go if you're the 31 of Miles Krabby? Just trying to find some way to get through. And they'll get their way through into that final corner. But at the moment, Miles Krabby really struggling, I think, to try to find some way, any way to get through. They're going to be able to get by on that front straightaway now. And could we see a look here for third place? We will. Barrera looking for the inside. He's called the dive bomber for a reason. Will he send one too deep into turn number 1 this time by? Just jumps on the binders, and Krabby will fall to 4th. And Eric Volkic going to be dropping back as well. Here's the fight for the lead now in GT4. Albus has lost out a lot of time to Justin Hall. They are now 2 abreast as we rocket down the back straightaway and in towards turn 6. And still, Albus stays out in front, but here comes Hall trying to get that crossover momentum run of the 177, looking for a lunge down the inside into turn number 6 there, working our way out through 7 and down towards 8. Justin Hall doing a good job on trying to keep steady with that 96 car, but not able to have himself, I think, the best of runs at the moment, but he's going to just drive with it. There's a lot of race still left to go. From the back, the fight for 4th. In LMP3, Krabby and Vukic still working nose to tail, now having to find the long way around a huge host of GT4 traffic. This is one of the sketchiest places where you can find yourself being caught with that lap traffic. And now, look at the drafting run from Vukic, looking to potentially make that run down the inside into Canada in the corner. You're right on board now. Closing, makes the look, gonna make that dive down to the turn number 12. Here we go. The fight for 4th is on. Vukic to the inside, and he's gonna pick off Krabby into Canada corner. Clears by the exit of 12. Couple of cars going off, potentially some LMP3 traffic involved in this as well. You saw Karsten Path getting him into all of this. We'll take a look, see what happened. As swings it wide, just loops the back end around. And here comes Jurgen now, looking to potentially make a similar mistake. You see the left front of that McLaren, all sorts of bent out of shape, and now Kevin Madia has had another problem. This is working down into turn 12. So some more LMP3 traffic's potentially here. Into the back of the McLaren, spins it around, and that's going to check up to 13 as well. Battle of the Porsches down in the turn number 1. That's the fight for 7th. Daniel fending off Isaacs. We got an LMP3 car off in the background. That's Ackerman. That's just binned it into turn number 1, the 9th place runner. We'll get to that in a moment here. We're going to keep with this fight for 7th now in GT4. He may have just sorted itself on out. Further up the road, Sonny Brown trying to keep Tyler Beeman at bay. The battle for 7th is on. We work down into turn 1. Sorry, turn 6. Getting myself all crossed up with corner numbers. And just barely. Brown able to hang on. Jacob Ackerman having a huge off, checking up for the McLaren, it looks like. That has spun him wide. And into the kitty litter down at turn number 1. A lot of attrition in the LMP3 field. We're down to only 13 cars running on the racetrack at the moment. Still got 11 of 12 running in GT4. And we are still tracking this battle for 7th place between Sonny Brown and Tyler Beeman. Catching up to the lap traffic of the Mercedes. That's not good news. And now we could see that lunge down in towards turn number 12. Will we see the lunge this time by, or will he tuck it in line? Beeman's looking left, looking right. He backs out. Probably a wise move backing out without defensive. That move was going. Battles on for second as well. Barrera and Braun side by side. And Justin Barrera trying to fight this one around the long way at turn 1. Clips their grass on the left-hand side. And just able to fire through. Barrera up to P2. Meanwhile, up over the hill. Can Beeman get around Sonny Brown down into the opening corner as well. Clip of the grass there again. Got to always watch for that. He's going to make that look. And go for the dive down the inside at turn 1. And easy overtake there for Sonny Brown to get around Tyler Beeman. We are going to be working our way into the sunset here. The Pro Kart Concepts Road Challenge Series. And it is currently sitting at closing in on 7 o'clock p.m. in sim time. That'll take place just shy of halfway. We now look up to Eric Vukic and Miles Krabby. Number 4, number 5 drivers. Still nose to tail. Vukic having a solid drive for the moment, and Krabby going to be looking to potentially drop a bit further back down the field. Hasn't, I think, been the opening that he would have hoped for. We got one of the Aston Martins off, and that is Joe Evers. Is off at turn 6, and here's what happened. It's kind of burnt right behind him, and I don't think this was with contact. Yeah, could have been way too far back. He's in too deep and loops the back end. Spins around for a harmless little spin. No harm, no foul. He'll get it back going. All the while, Beeman and Brown looking to battle it out further. Brown this time looks for the inside. Can't get there. Justin Barrera going to set the fast lap of the race, a 1:59.32. Meanwhile, in the GT4 battles, Lightsky, Green, and Daniel all nose to tail. This is the fight for 4th. And a 3-way battle at Still working our way around this 4-mile circuit, and apologies for the brief drop in connection. We should be back up and running now. And you're still watching this battle for P4 in GT4 between Lightsky, Daniel, and Green. Still all nose to tail. It's not the only battle we got in this fight for 4th. Still picking up as well. Still looking to see if we're going to see Vukic make that move on Krabby, but it looks like looking to save a bit of fuel as it stands. Same story here in Kyle Nadeau and Jacob Ackerman's battle. As they're going to go nose to tail, working down into turn number 1. How about... Whoa, look out! One of the Porsche sideways. Chris Daniel off the circuit, and Daniel is not pleased with somebody right now, as he is just able to keep that one on the circuit. He's using the McLaren off right in front of them. So Daniel having a huge off, and how is that for a save? just gotten sideways into the grass, and look at the wheel work needed to keep that Porsche pointed in the right direction. How about that for some masterful driving? That is I've never seen somebody have to work a GT4 car like that to keep it on the racetrack. That was nothing short of incredible. Ackerman, Nadeau, Brown and Beeman, Barrera and Braun. Only a few of the battles we've got working at the moment on the racetrack. Green has just taken the pit road to the GT4 field. All the while, you've still got this battle for the number 2 spot on in GT4. Sorry, for the lead in GT4. Bradley Alves out of Forney, Texas, trying to keep the likes of Justin Hall at bay. But Hall is not a driver who's going to look to be denied here. He's going to be continuing to hunt after that number 96 Mercedes and try to find any chinks in the armor. Now we could see this fight. Here it is. Vukic finally pulls the trigger in the battle with himself and Krabby. That was for 4th. And now that'll see Eric Vukic pull through into 4th. Miles Krabby will fall to 5th. But here is the cutback. And it's going to be a tight fight all the way down the backstretch under the cheese bridge in towards turn number 6. Krabby holding the inside and will take that one for the outside, and Vukic will not be able to re-attack down on the bottom. How about the Porsche fight? Still picking up as well, Lightsky and Daniel. Looking to lock horns once again as we work our way further towards halfway. Oh, a bit of a bumper that time by Lightsky. I think just barely managed to avoid Daniel as Daniel came flying in. Here is again Alves and Hall this time. Alves went defensive. Hall backed out. And that 177 just cannot find a way to get by Bradley Alves and make that move for the race lead in your GT4 category. Not for lack of trying, though. I mean, these guys have been going back and forth constantly for several laps now, and the gap has been ebbing and flowing so much. It's just a problem at the moment if he hasn't been able to find enough momentum to get around him, and the draft just isn't powerful enough to get a reasonable run down these straights. I think he might be having to hope for a mistake at this point from Bradley Alves, who wants to try to find some way to get through. A mistake much like Lightsky just made to allow Chris Daniel through, and this is how this pass came about, as there you see the 144 just goes wide and seems to be coming through. Easy overtake there, made really quick work of the 144 Porsche came in GT4 Club Sport. That said, look to go back at him, and Daniel checking of Lightsky in a big way as he'll let some LMP3 traffic through. Boy, I think that got a bit more exciting than Lightsky was hoping for, as they were caught by a big chunk of that LMP3 traffic in the midst of all of that battling. Now, once again, the question remains, where is Justin Hall going to look to make this move to get up and around the number 96? Trouble for Ackerman. The McLaren 570S GT4 has been spun around, and Ackerman will fall to 9th in class, and that's going to fall even further as he's going to take the tow back to the pits, and this is how it went down. Exiting the carousel as he just caught the grass. Oh, yes, he has. Dips wheels in, and oh, hard hit again into the barriers, and this time only just narrowly avoiding some traffic up the road. Justin Barrera, Mike Braun find themselves nose to tail once again. 34 minutes left on the clock to get by one of the Aston Martins. Working up and over the rise, Barrera and Braun going all the way back down and around to the pit wall. No attempt made, though, for the overtake down into turn 1. Could have him here into 3, though, if the opposite poked the nose out. He thought about it. Decided against it, though. All the while, we are still watching Paul and Alvis in their battle for the GT4 race lead. It has not gone anywhere in the last several laps, and they are going to be looking, I'd imagine, to battle this one out all the way down until we get to the end of this race. It is one of the few battles we have on the racetrack at the moment. There's nothing else in GT4 that is within a second of one another, so this is your lone battle in GT4. Of course, have this battle for second place in LMP3 as well. You've also got this one here between Jacob Ackerman and Kyle Nader. They're about 0.7 of a second separated and trying to keep that gap closed. This is the fight for 10th place. So the last one inside the top 10 over here in LMP3. And the yellow flag is out. Safety car will be deployed. And that comes after Vukic goes off the racetrack. Now, this isn't going to be for any particular incident per se. The main reasoning why we're getting this yellow flag now, this is a system that I was informed of comes into play when there's too many incident points racked up as a whole across the race session. So too many drivers having problems, and that's going to cause us now to be under our first safety car period. So no overtaking is allowed. We'll bunch them up. We'll catch the tail end of this field. We'll rack them, stack them. It'll be single file restarts, and this could be a lengthy yellow flag as well, as these caution laps around here are not short. We could very well be going racing with only about 15 minutes left on the clock. If you ever wanted to come on down and go for a pit stop, now would be the time to do it, I guess. We'll see what the field opts to do as Scott Kimbrough will pick it up behind the Irish safety car here. I believe it's going to be working its way somewhere around through the opening couple of corners. And we will now, there it is, oh, the space truck. We got the truck out this time around. I don't see that one out all that often. So a little interesting tidbit on that deal. Well, with all of that kind of settled down for the moment, I'll take a look up and down. We'll see if anybody's available to give us a little bit of a chit-chat here in this one. Does not appear that there's too many of the guys that we were seeing battles with available for a conversation. Bit of a shame on that one, but we will be able to get in touch with some of these drivers. How about we talk to the likes here of Tyler Beeman. He is the driver that is at the moment running down for Beeman. He is running 7th place overall as it stands, and 7th place in his class as well. Tyler, this is Noel Remble here at the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
I got you.
Well, you're running 7th place at the moment. It's not necessarily towards the front, but considering the carnage that we saw in the first 10 minutes there for LMP3s, that's not a bad result at all right now.
Yeah, I'm really happy with it. I started near the back. I just did not have pace in this LMP3. Wasn't feeling really confident, and kind of those guys pulled away from me, but it ended up working to my advantage because that big pack piled up there in Canada Corner, and I just was able to sneak by and be happy to just run in the top 10 at this stage.
Well, with this safety car, you're going to be right bunched up with the rest of these guys now. Do you think you'll be able to punch your way into the top 5 by the end of this race because of it?
I'm hoping so. I'm going to go with, I don't know what these guys are going to do, but I am going to take 4 tires on this stop under full course yellow. I'm hoping that might give me something depending on what these other guys do.
Well, we'll wish you the best of luck out there. We'll let you go back to strategizing. Good luck on the restart.
Cheers. Thank you.
Tyler Beeman joining us up here, 7th place in LMP3 at the moment. We We are working our first safety car period, and what could be our only safety car period we get here of this race. We will take a quick step back, and we'll be back with you before too long. You're watching the Pro Kart Concepts Road Challenge Series live on Green Flag TV.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. We are getting set to come to the close of our first safety car period here of the afternoon, and at the moment it is Justin Barrera at the moment, who is the race leader in the 125 Ligier P3J320 for the LMP3 category. Right behind him, a bit further back down the field, you got Bradley Alvis, who's currently leading the way in GT4s. Your GT4 field looking to scramble to catch up with the tail end of this field if they had to come down pit road a little while ago, while the rest of these guys are working their way towards Canada Corner. We'll be going green with about 24 minutes left on the clock in a 1-hour race. All in all, should be an exciting last half of this one. Working through turn number 14, we will enter the start-finish stretch. Pace truck is off. The car that is leading the way to the green is not the overall race leader. It is the one right behind. As we fire our way back across our finish, green flag is back up and into the air. And it is going to be absolute carnage in behind as these guys try to get themselves sorted. The battle already on for the lead in GT4, side by side, as we fire it down the hill in towards turn number 1. And it will be Alvis just trying to stay clear of Hall, and I think has just managed to get clear. So Alvis is going to be able to get clear of Justin Hall, and none too soon as well. There's a whole host of GT4 traffic right in front of them as a result of all of this lap traffic. You can see 2 minutes and 38 seconds, the delta between Wells and Alvis and Lightsky, who is the car just in front of them. Mike Braun, side by side with Vukic as well, down into turn number 6. Battle for 4th, and the number 8 just barely gonna pull clear. Nadu gets around Ackerman from the outside going the long way around, but immediately gets checked up by the 144 Porsche Cayman, and this is all this lap traffic carnage that we expected to see on this restart. So far, though, these guys are doing a fine job of managing it. Krabby looking to pull a bit further after these guys up in front. The driver out of Hueytown, Alabama, closing in for second on Kimbrough. Kimbrough lost the lead at the pit stop cycle. He had a 5-second lead before that safety car. Now he's looking for the inside. He's going to send it. He will down the inside into turn number 12. He locks up and almost in too deep. Krabby just able to keep himself clear. We got trouble high. Vukic going around. Vukic is able to save it on a close call up and down throughout this field. Fierce fight as well for 5th, 6th, and 7th in GT4. Well, that didn't quite go the way we were expecting it would, but boy, did it ever give us some excitement to worry about. Here's what happened to Beeman. This is coming around on the exit of the carousel, gets up and into the grass. Great job to pedal that car and save it. Here's what happened to Mike Braun, meanwhile, working back in towards turn number 12. Just looped the back end, and again, what a save and good job on the field for that heads-up driving to get around there without any problems. Tracking a lot of battles at the moment in this one. We just saw Boyd fire to the inside of Braun, and they're going to run off the circuit. So contact in the fight for 5th place now. Just when you think it can't get more aggressive, it does. John Boyd getting up and around Mike Braun. A bit aggressively, though, went in too hot, and Braun gets pushed out wide and will retake the position as a result. This is the nature of sprint racing, though, and this race is very much a sprint for these drivers in the Road Challenge Series, Boyd and Beeman. Getting a bit topsy-turvy with one another. Now the big question is, can Scott Kimbrough keep Miles Krabby at bay while trying to chase after Justin Barrera? Kimbrough led a good chunk of this race in the early goings, and now we have to see what his offensive game is like, not just his defensive game. Barrera sets the fast lap that last time by, 158.74. To keep this fight raging on for the number 1 spot. It's not the only fight we got as well. Otto Rosa trying to close up to Kevin Mandia. This is the fight for 8th, and just in front of them is Tyler Beeman for 7th. So still a lot to play for here. in the Pro Kart Concepts Road Challenge Series, and what a race it has been so far. Kyle Nadeau has a run on Ackerman. Looking to get away through. They're going to go side by side as they exit under the cheese bridge. And that's going to be a full lunge. Nadeau is through to 10th. All the while, the battle for the race lead has gone absolutely nowhere. Still very much alive in GT4. You can now see the headlights starting to illuminate the road surface as we continue to go racing into the sunset. Kyle Nadeau off the course. That is just after turn 3. Oh, not even. This is actually just before the carousel, and wow, huge tank slap rumble wide. Hall, meanwhile, has gotten around Elvis here. So Justin Hall and Elvis now side by side. Elvis gonna fight back. This is in the run down through the hurry downs towards turn number 8. Hall still holds the inside. Bradley Elvis tracking for the outside. They're still side by side into the carousel. And finally, Elvis will be able to break clear on a wild ride. Matt Ackerman, meanwhile, has had another off at the final corner. He's just tracked wide into the grass and, whoa, face first into that K-rail and rebounds back into the right side wall. Ed Jurgen also having to spin. This is the carousel. This is another off that Jurgen has had, and has he gone into the wall? With the targeted angle, I would expect so, and sure enough. Jurgen's still off the racetrack, by the way, and he's now just sitting off the circuit. He'll take that toe back. That allows us to focus now on battles further up the racetrack. Justin Barrera looking to keep Scott Kimbrough, the pole sitter, at bay. All the while, Jacob Ackerman still scrapping it out with Kyle Nadeau. This gap steadily closing in as well. By the way, Bradley Beeman has been off the circuit now for a while, and he is just sitting off of the exit turn number 4. So that's why you see that red dash on the side of the screen there in that deal. Let's see what happened here. This is where it first started. As he's just pulled it off. Interesting enough, so he's just pulled it off, and that's why he has just been sitting stationary there for the last little while. Keep a look on Elvis and Hall. Let's fight for the lead, though, picking up as well. The overall lead, that is. Barrera and Kimbrough. Side, or nose and tail, could be side by side down the backstretch here and in towards turn 6. Just off the track on the left-hand side, and here is the closing gap. Not able to get close enough to make that look, and see Nadeau backing off big time. Ackerman further in behind. Here's Justin Hall looking to make that move on Bradley Elvis. Taking another swing at the GT4 race lead, lunges deeper on the brakes. Can he carry that around the long way around turn 12? No, he cannot. Hall remains tucked firmly in line. Elvis going to pick up that number 1 spot. Here we got a fight, 7th place, 3-way battle in LMP3. Madja, Beeman, Rosa. All line astern. Whoa, and now catching up to a slowing John Boyd. And Boyd had just had an incident of his own. He went off the track just shy of the carousel. That'll give this little pack a bit of a scare, but it looks like, again, able to just keep things all sorted. Bit of a headlight flash there as... Oh, trouble for Kimbrough. Kimbrough off the track in the final corner. So your former pole sitter will throw that fight away. Meanwhile, Alvis thought he might have another look down the inside, opposite Gainsey. Here's what happened to Kimbrough. The number 2 driver. Oh, he's just gotten loose into the last corner and swung it out wide. That'll cost him third as a result. Joe Evers, meanwhile, in the Aston Martin has gone off. Down at 6. Is he in too hot? Oh, no, he hasn't gone off. He's just slowed it up a lot. We'll check back into this fight for 10th between Jacob Ackerman and Kyle Nadeau. Again, though, Nadeau backing off, and I think that time bias because he had 2 left sides in the grass. We couldn't really make a move. We couldn't get on the binders anywhere aggressively if he wanted to, or he would have spun that LMP3 around. We are in this final quarter now of this race. Justin Hall, Alvis remain now the closest fight on the racetrack, going side by side for the GT4 class lead. Again, Hall deeper on the brakes, but Alvis so good at maintaining that momentum from the inside, and he is just able to keep Hall at bay. Boy, what a fight this is, though, and it is not a fight that's going to go away anytime soon. They are going to be scrapping it out all the way down until the checkered flag falls on the final lap. So at the moment, it's a sort of a situation, right, where you have to kind of take stock of where everything's at, and you have to wonder where do you go at this point in time? Do you want to try to push hard now, or do you want to try to bide your time and hope that your opponent will make a mistake? If you're like Hall, I think you're pushing hard, because it's pretty obvious here that Alvis is not going to make any sort of mistake. Further back here, though, I wouldn't say it's a similar story. Beeman has been doing a good job on applying the pressure to Media. We've seen a couple of these guys dipping their left sides over into the wall, not into the wall, but into the grass. So the possibilities there are a lot more that we could have seen a mistake in this battle for 7th in LMP4s than we will in that fight for the lead in GT4. But at the end of the day, you never quite know, because it really could be complete calamity. As whoa, there it is! Huge lunge to the inside. Tyler Beeman. Oh, and Beeman spins it! And in fact, Rosa spins it as well. They both spin it, and Rosa's into the barriers. So Otto Rosa and Kevin Madia will both bin it into the K-rail. Well, that wasn't how that intended to go. Here's what first happened to Beeman is looking inside, and he just took too much curb, and then he has backed it into Rosa's car, and Rosa will back that machine into the K-rail. Meanwhile, again, battle with the GT4 lead is on. Hall to the outside of Alvis. And Alvis still hanging the inside, but this time Hall's got momentum around the outside now through turn 13, setting ourselves up for 14 with just 10 minutes left to go. Alvis and Hall now in a drag race, up over the rise. And boy, is it ever a close race as well. Round the outside goes Hall. Can he pick him off at turn 1? He's going to try to make an effort, but they're still side by side as we work back and over the hill. Meanwhile, there's race leader Justin Barrera right behind them, so this is not good news. Barrera trying to get his hat into the ring, and that's going to disrupt Hall's efforts. And all of that means the battle's now on for the LMP3 lead as well. Barrera trying to keep Krabby at bay. Krabby's got to run, though, and the number 31 car will go for the move down to the turn number 6. 9.5 minutes on the clock. Barrera trying to fend off the number 31, and he'll keep him at bay just for now. That was frustrated over Barrera, just having to watch that battle for the GT4 lead in front. Couldn't go anywhere, and he's just watching that gap closing and closing behind. And now again, GT4 lead, here we go. Round, what is this, 12 now? Hall cannot let Alvis breathe for a minute. As they continue to work our way up and around, this is where it's going to get interesting as we work down in towards turn number 12. Now Hall's got the inside. Alvis have to try to fight this one the long way now. Can he carry the momentum through? He's got a good drive. That could be what he needs as we work to 13. Hall trying to keep that race lead, and finally, Hall clears. It only took him, 22 laps? But finally, Hall is through and into the point. Not like Alvis has done yet, though. You saw an aggressive look to the inside. Didn't opt to go for the lunge, but he very well could have. Letting him know, hey, I am right here. And it's a similar story at the moment for Miles Krabby trying to get up and around Justin Barrera. Might have to wait for some more lap traffic to get in the way or get the almighty run out through the King towards Canada. But at the moment, Barrera is doing everything he has to keep that car pointed in the right direction and staying out in the race lead. 7 minutes left to go. Less than 5 laps. Tell you what, though, Barrera's got that carousel dialed in as he works out 0.3 of a second and just turn 9 alone. Scott Kimbrough, meanwhile, also in a fight for third. We haven't been able to talk about Kimbrough all that much. He started this race on pole and lost the lead in the pit stop cycle and then lost second place with a mistake all by himself in this final corner. Now just trying to hang on to a podium with Eric Vukic just tucked in behind and trying to find some way to get through. And this could very well be a big fight, working up and down in towards turn number 1. There it is, Vukic making the duck to the left-hand side. Trying to go over the Hail Mary and round the outside. It was a mighty effort, but not one that was meant to be in turn 1. Tell you what, though, held his ground, and now looking to be having himself with a solid drive out of turn number 4, but or number 3, excuse me, but unfortunately not able to have enough to close off on the Kimbrough, who is now really looking to work this one in. Trouble for Nadeau, as Kyle Nadeau is off, and that is down at turn 4. Now this is turn 14, actually, the final corner. And is he... whoa, hello. Bit of contact there, I do believe. And that's what spins the 97 around. We're very much racing in the light of headlights now, as dusk has fallen over Wisconsin. You're watching the battle for 9th place at the moment between Jacob Ackerman and Tyler Beeman. What a season opener this has been so far, though, for the Pro Kart Concepts Road Challenge Series. I don't think these guys could have hoped for this race to have gone any better way. You've had some amazing battling up and down throughout the field, and including for the class leads, which is what you love to see. It means you're not going to have just one driver running away with the championship every single week. You actually have these battles that allow these guys to duke it out side by side. In most road course series, you'll have the one ringer that's just able to drive away with everything. But unfortunately, well, I guess not unfortunately, very fortunately, thankfully, we're not going to be seeing that, it looks like, here in this one. These guys have taken great pride in making sure that everything is squared away. And I can tell you right now, I am thoroughly looking forward to what next week's race is going to hold when we go racing down at the Brickyard, a track that's a lot more condensed and lap traffic going to be ever more apparent. From above, there's the speed difference between the LMP3s and the GT4s as we continue to work our way down. Vukic has lost ground, and this is coming around to turn 6. And how has he lost this position here? This is coming up and over to 7. Sorry, no, this is turn 6 right here. Whoa, he's just looped it. 0-4 backs it back across the circuit, and that's where he lost the position back down to 5th. He's able to gather himself up, though, get himself going. No harm, no foul. Two minutes left on the clock. Now the question is this going to be the final lap coming on up here for race leader Justin Barrera, or are we going to be having ourselves one more? It's going to be very close, but I believe this may be 2 laps to go at the line. Up and over the rise. Lap times he's been hitting are about 1 minute and 59. Oh, I don't know. I didn't see a white flag being waved, but I think we're going to get one more trip around after this one. Provided that is that he doesn't make any sort of major mistakes. Beeman and Ackerman working through your GT4 battle for the lead. And they're scrapping the 9th place. Well, they were at least. Now Beeman getting checked up by GT4 leader Justin Hall. And that's going to effectively cost him now that battle for... why is he not going for the overtake? That's my big question now. I would have thought he would have gone for that move, but no. He's followed behind that GT4 the entire way through, and now he gets through. He wasn't quite sure where to go. Scott Kimmer, by the way, puts down the fastest lap, 1:58.59. But at the moment, we've got just 1 minute left on the docket. Speeding up and over the hill. Vukic off again. Rejoins, no problem. 50 seconds remaining. Is, again, this going to be that final lap for Justin Barrera, or do we get one more? It's going to be very, very close. We're talking within about 5 seconds close. So we will turn our eyes back to the leaders. Coming up and around, turn number 14, 15 seconds to go. Barrera trying to keep himself steady. Five, four, three, no! That was not the final lap. Now we will start it around the clock, just now expires. And this means that Kimbrough's fight for second isn't over. Krabby's got to try to now fight to keep Kimbrough at bay. Krim to the inside, they hip check each other, and Krabby's off at turn 1 onto the curb, able to tuck it back in line. That got spicy for a minute there as they're able to fight their way around. This also gives another lap that Hall and Alvis now can fight it out with one another. So that is it. Time has expired. We are now working the final lap for race leader Justin Barrera. as we are working into the dusk. All eyes on the battle for the GT4 class lead, as well as on Ackerman and Beeman's battle. They're going to go side by side up over the hill to start their final circuit around. Beeman trying to get around Ackerman. Ackerman looking to work that left-hand side, try to keep Beeman at bay. Side by side, and Ackerman just able to keep it out in front. Barrera, meanwhile, working the back straightaway for the final time and in towards turn number 12 at Canada Corner. I do not think this is where Barrera expected to be. He will work through turns 13 and 14, no competition. He's got 2 seconds to burn. Gets around the Pro Concepts Porsche. Justin Barrera will work over the hill. He will take victory in the season opener for the Pro Kart Concepts Road Challenge Series, while Scott Kimbrough maintains his run for second. Now, the battle for the lead in GT4 still yet to be decided. 0.4 of a second separating Justin Hall from Bradley Alvis. It's going to be a close battle. You know that for a fact. Now the big ticket question is, are they going to be able to get themselves sorted? This is, I don't think, going to be an easy decision. I think Alvis has got to send it fully into turn 12 at Canada if he wants to have any hope on making this spot up. But he's only been slipping back. The gap's down to 3/4 of a second. I think if Hall gets through turn 12, he is golden. Bit of lap traffic. Makes quick work of the 13, though, and that 13 Mercedes pushing out wide will allow this fight through. And Justin Hall will come through, and he will take up. Not going to speak too soon here. Oh, he's into the grass. That's exactly why. He's pushed it wide. He could have been here. Here comes Alvis. Alvis with a huge drag race up over the hill. It's going to be a photo finish at the line. And because of that, Bradley Alvis picks off Justin Hall from a self-inflicted error. Oh my word. I do not believe what I've just witnessed. The drive up and over the hill. Could anybody have seen that coming? Take a ride on board with Alvis. He also got to the grass, but look at the drive that he got. Up over the hill. Didn't give it up. And just barely nicks him at the line. Well, that's going to do it then for the Pro Kart Concepts Road Challenge Series. We will take a look at your official post-race results after an absolute barn burner of a season opener. And in LMP3, it was the likes of Justin Barrera to take the race win ahead of Scott Kimbrough. Miles Crabbe will be in third to wrap out the podium. Mike Brahms in fourth with Eric Vukic down in fifth. John Boy was in sixth with Kevin Madia in seventh. Otto Rosa was eighth. Jacob Ackerman was ninth. Tyler Beeman rounds out the top 10. For there you've got Sonny Brown and to be the last driver to finish on the lead lap. Kyle Nadeau, Karsten Path finishing 4 and 6 laps down. Daniel Hall, Bradley Beeman, Michael Day, Taylor Parsons, Joe Ogle, and Billy Bowerman all not finishing this race. Then, of course, your GT4 race results where Bradley Alvis takes up the race win ahead of teammate Justin Hall after Hall throws it away in the final corner. Chris Wold will take it up in third. He was the last driver on the lead lap as well. The safety car puts Chris Daniel, Joe Evers, Eric Lightsky, Jerry Isaacs all laps down. Chris Wells as well, Matt Green, Ed Jurgen, Matt Ackerman, and Shane Brown all also finishing further down in this field. But oh my goodness, what a race and what a drive that we have seen here tonight. We will be able to take a look at your, we'll be able to take a talk, with some of your post-race finishers. We'll talk to at least the class finishers in this race, and we will try to, we don't quite have Justin. Oh, we do have Justin Barrera, so we'll be able to get a chat here with Justin Barrera. First and foremost, it is the driver that takes up the race win over in LMP3, and well, I don't think it was quite what you expected to see with how much of a gap Kimber was able to build up. Kind of walk us through how you're able to take full advantage of the safety car there.
Well, I didn't take tires. I didn't think we would need them at all, especially with a cooler track like this. Just got my fuel, made it. I didn't take, I didn't add any extra fuel than what is called for auto fuel. Just put it at 0, and yeah, just went out and hit it because I already knew I could fuel save if I needed to. It's not a big deal. I'm pretty decent at lap traffic, and if I could have, stayed up with him, I think I could have got back up to Kimbrough, possibly. He's really fast. I think he put the fastest lap in. But once we got done and through all the lap traffic at the end, I saw the second, third place fighting. I was like, okay, I just got to keep it on the track and go home. With Brickyard, Indy? Oh, Indy's a favorite of mine, actually. So I'm not saying I'm going to be the best there, but I really enjoy that track. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens
Indeed. For now, though, congratulations on the race win here from Wisconsin. Hard-earned and well-earned, I'll say.
Yeah, appreciate it.
That was Justin Barrera taking it home for the LMP3 class win of the Pro Kart Concepts Road Challenge Series. We will move down to Bradley Alvis, the driver that was, for the most part, the one that we expected to be seeing in the lead for the most of this race. You found yourself running down in second, though, Bradley, all the way until that final drag race, proving once again it's never quite over until that checkered flag falls.
Yeah, it really isn't. I mean, J Hall is about as fast as you're going to get. I was lucky to even stay in his draft most of the race, and he lost his concentration a little bit at the end and put some wheels in the dirt, and I got lucky and was able to make the pass.
Kind of walk us through what the last lap was like, because it was a gap that was slipping further and further back, but then all of a sudden, sideways off the final corner, then that's, I think, when you'd have to realize, okay, time to gun it.
Yeah, we were coming through the final lap. We had some LMP3 traffic coming, and they actually behaved really well. And whoever it was, I really appreciate it. They let us race and gave us turn 1. I really appreciated that. And I was lucky to kind of inch it back up. But the truth of the matter is, after that final turn, I thought it was over. And yeah, as soon as his car got a little sideways, I thought, well, this might be it. So it was a matter of drafting and seeing what line he was going to pick and just slide on by.
Well, we get to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway 1 week from now. It's a track that is a lot more condensed, so you're going to be seeing a lot more of those LMP3 cars filling your mirrors. What are you going to have to do to see if you can't get go for the double here in this one?
Yeah, he's my teammate, so we'll always work together till the very end anyways. So, I don't know. If I could just stick to his bumper, then I may have a shot against him. But I think if we were to one-up the whole time, he would probably get me in the long run. So this is the perfect format for me. If I could just stay under his bumper, I think I'll be all right.
Well, we will wish you the best of luck then when we go racing down in Indiana. For now, though, congratulations on that surprising win, admittedly in GT4s, and hopefully it'll be 2 for 2 next week.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And shout out to all the Shut Up and Drive It guys.
Indeed. That was Bradley Alvis taking it home with your GT4 race win out of Forney, Texas, and that is going to do it for our performance here tonight. What a race it was to kick things off for the Pro Kart Concepts Road Challenge Series. Again, could not think it could have gone any better for these folks down here in this one. Don't go away anytime soon. In just under about 15 minutes now, we're going to be live with the High Tide Racing League MF Racing Designs Cup Series live from Auto Club, and we'll be myself and Austin Etcher will bring you that 125 lapper as well as that. Be sure as well to join us tomorrow where myself and Dylan Coyle will bring you once again the OMS Xfinity Series at the Milwaukee Mile. If road course racing is your thing, be sure to check out the Beer League for round number 2 next week, or not next week, this coming Wednesday at Mount Panorama at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. For now, though, here from Wisconsin, it's time to say farewell. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight for the Pro Kart Concepts Road Challenge Series and the season opener. We'll see you all next week at America's Racing Capital.